Mark Carney will never put Canada first. Need proof? Carney wants to be the Prime Minister of Canada, but yet as recently as 2 years ago on the international stage, declared himself to be something other than Canadian. In a room full of globalists at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Carney declared himself to be a European.
In Canadian federal politics, the Canucks are represented by two separate yet unequal groups: the globalists who sold out and the opposition trying to salvage a country. These are their stories.
You look like you were about to.
Yeah, it was a tell.
As a European, as a
European, I am a European, actually.
You are?
Yeah, Irish citizen. Yeah, so there you
go.
Welcome. Speaking as a European.
A European? Let that sink in for a moment. Carney wants to be the Prime Minister of Canada, the leader of our great country, yet 2 short years ago identified as a European. Is that something that a proud Canadian would say? Are those the words of a leader who will put Canada first? I don't think so. Need more proof? During the current Liberal leadership race, Carney all but admitted that he will not put Canada first when he proudly called himself a globalist and an elitist.
People will charge me as being elitist or a globalist, to use that term, which is, that's exactly, it happens to be exactly what we need.
Really? A globalist and an elitist who thinks he's better than you? Is that what Canada needs at this time? Well, that's exactly what we've had over the past 9 years under the disastrous leadership of Justin Trudeau. Just like Carney, Trudeau likes to hang out in Davos at the World Economic Forum. Similar to Carney, Trudeau has declared Canada to be a post-national state with no core identity, and instead of putting Canada first, Trudeau has done the opposite. He's undermined our security and our economy by attacking our vital energy sector. He's pitted Canadian against Canadian. He has declared war on freedom of speech and civil liberties, and he's dishonored our proud heritage by promoting cancel culture, disavowing great leaders like our first Prime Minister, Sir John A. Macdonald, and removing some of our proudest national symbols from the Canadian passport.
Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
That's what you get with a globalist and an elitist like Justin Trudeau. He hasn't put Canada first, and neither will Mark Carney, because Mark Carney is really Justin Trudeau 2.0. The same Mark Carney who, by the way, has been an advisor to Justin Trudeau for years.
I have been talking with Mark Carney for years now.
It's an honor to accept this role as chair of this new task force on economic growth for the Prime Minister, for the leader.
In this challenging time, the last thing Canada needs is a self-described European globalist elitist. Canada needs a common-sense Prime Minister, someone who will always put Canada first, and that leader is Pierre Poilievre.
Our country is worth fighting for our people, for our land, for our home, for Canada first, always and forever. Let's bring it home.
Hey gang, what's up? Just Aaron right here, Canadian Looney. This one is incredible. Michael Cooper, MP from Alberta, he slams Iqra Khalid. There's no insinuations in this video. Just Michael Cooper calling out these filthy, woke tactics being used by the Liberals in committee. It is so much fun to watch. He slams her, man. It is hysterical. And, well, it's sad that this stuff is going on. But Michael Cooper is bringing the energy in this one. Check this video out, man. Watch the whole thing. It's a short for my channel, but we'll do a longer video on this one. It's a great piece. Michael Cooper is a man on fire. You can tell he's pissed. Check this out. Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
Oh, yeah. Ms. Khalid, you have the floor. Then I see Mr. Cooper.
Thanks, Chair. And I just
wanted to reiterate because I don't think that my questions were answered. And perhaps if you can take note, I would really appreciate if we can find out how many meetings are there left with the amount of witnesses that are left. And if we add these witnesses as presented in this motion and the amendment, how many meetings does this add to what we currently have? And when are we going to finalize this study?
That's before I hear Mr. Cooper. So I was, there are 13 witnesses remaining. 2 of them are ministers, which really brings us down to 11. We have any ability to invite. 2 have already been invited and scheduled for after the recess, which leaves us with 9, most of which are former board members, of which I've been bundling in groups of 2 or 3. So I would say what I would call a handful of meetings remain to get through the current witnesses, and then there are 2 from the 4 being proposed today, looking at both the amendment and the sub-amendment. Mr. Cooper.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And let me say that when it comes to the number of meetings that are required, dealing with $400 million that improperly went out the door in terms of non-compliance with the contribution agreements, in terms of multiple conflicts, I say we ought to have as many meetings as it takes to get to the bottom of what happened at SDTC. And I know that the Liberals opposite would love nothing more than...
Point of order, Chair. I don't think that that the member opposite should be making any insinuations about what we do and do not care about. We have been just as active participants in these meetings and continue to be. I would like to just have a little bit more collaboration in how we're going to proceed forward. And I don't think that my questions have been unreasonable in any way.
Thank you, Ms. Khalid. Your point is taken. Mr. Cooper, you have the floor again.
Mr. Chair, we've seen time and again the Liberals run interference, interject with points of order that are not legitimate points of order, that are points of debate, including when Navdeep Bains, former Liberal Minister Bains, came before this committee. Time and time again, Ms. Khalid and Mr. Drouin intervened, obstructed, tried to block members of the opposition from posing questions about what Mr. Bains, former Liberal Minister Bains, knew and when he knew it, or what he didn't know or chose to ignore, because the Auditor General's report about what happened at SDTC was damning about what happened under former Liberal Minister Bains's watch. And we saw the outrageous display on his part when, with the assistance of Ms. Khalid and Mr. Drouin, when he refused to answer the most basic of questions the first time that he appeared before this committee. Another point of debate from Mr. Drouin.
No, I do. I love the sanctimonious from the opposite colleague. Can we just get back to the business of the committee? That'd be helpful. That's not
very
advancing
much
anything.
Within the business of this committee and the very motion before
Let's talk about how many more meetings do we want, and let's just get back to business, and then you can leave your Facebook clip somewhere else.
Right. Why don't we let Mr. Cooper finish up, and then I'll, Mr. say, or the floor is yours. The floor is yours. I'm not trying to cut you off. I just
once again being interrupted.
Order.
But we saw, with the assistance of Mr. Drouin and Ms. Khalid, them running interference to protect the minister from answering questions. The first time that he appeared before this committee, he did not answer really any questions that were put to him. So blatant and so consistent was his obstruction throughout that hearing that we had a very long debate. in which former Liberal Minister Baines came this close to being found in contempt by this committee. And now, in the end, after the Liberals filibustered for hours and hours and hours, taking us till I think 9 or 9:30 to protect former Liberal Minister Baines, we agreed to allow him an opportunity to come back. He came back. He continued, in many instances, not to answer questions. In other instances, he gave testimony that contradicted what this committee had heard from other witnesses.
Mr. Cooper, I'm just going to interject. I said I would suspend for QP. It's 2:00, so I'm going to suspend this meeting.
Oh my goodness, like I didn't want that video to end. Michael Cooper, can't wait to see you next time in committee. Like, we cover a lot of committee videos here. My name's Aaron, Canadian Looney. Like, share, subscribe, get notified. We do live shows. We cover the question periods here daily. It's a lot of fun. Come and check out our chat room. It's great. Anyways, Michael Cooper, you just went up a couple ranks on my list of favorite conservatives. That was entertaining as hell. Thank you for watching the video, guys. Aaron, Canadian Looney. Like, subscribe, share, get notified. Come and join one of the live shows. That's it. Thank you for watching the video. Catch you next time. Giddy up, Michael Cooper. Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
Oh, yeah.